Debbie brings her fiancé Sam home to meet her parents, and after dinner, Father says to Sam, "Let's have a meeting in the office man to man." Sam's sitting there and Debbie's father says, "You see this wonderful home that Debbie's been brought up in? When you move out, will you be able to have a home similar to this?" Sam thinks for a moment and he says, "You know, I'm a believing young man. I believe God will help." Father then says, "Tell me, Sam, at the moment you know that Debbie's driving the BMW convertible, but once she gets married, that car stays here. Will you be able to purchase her a car that she's familiar with and used to driving?" And again, Sam thinks for a moment and he says, "You know, I honestly believe in God and I know that God will help." Later on that evening, Debbie's mother asks, "Tell me, honey, how did the meeting go?" "It's wonderful. It's a match made in heaven. He already thinks that I'm God." You ever bought yourself a new car? Or you bought yourself a second-hand car from a dealer and they make the car smell like a new car? We all know there's a rule. No eating in the car. How long does that last? Or you put down fresh carpet in your house. We all know the rule. No shoes on the carpet. How long does that last? Or our children drive us crazy and they wear us down because they wanted a new toy and we finally go out and buy that toy. How long do they play with that toy? If you're lucky, a day or two. And then they end up spending their time playing with the box that it came in. We're excited when something is new. But it doesn't take long before we've discarded it and we've totally forgotten about it. Judaism is alive. Judaism is vibrant. Judaism is as fresh today as it was when God gave it to the Jewish people on Mount Sinai. Imagine Aristotle arriving in Athens, and he stops a boy and he says, "Tell me, do you know Aristotle?" Firstly, the boy probably would not be able to understand a word that Aristotle was speaking about. It's no longer the same language. And even if he did understand the language, more than likely he never heard of Aristotle or of his accomplishments. On the other hand, let's imagine Moshe Rabbeinu Moses lands in Ben Gurion Airport, gets out of the El Al plane, walks across the tarmac, and he meets a boy and he says, "Hi, I'm Moses, I'm Moshe." And the young boy looks up at him and he says, "You're Moshe?" So he says, "Yes, I am." "Wow, my brother's Moshe. I've got a cousin called Moshe, and there's at least 3 boys in my class with the name of Moshe, and they're all named after you, in your honor." "Wow," Moshe says, "they haven't forgotten about me." And then the boy looks at Moshe and he says, "Can I ask you a question?" Moshe says, "Of course." And of course they're speaking the same language that Moshe gave the Torah to the Jewish people in. Tell me, you know, we read and we were taught in school that when you were a child, you actually put hot coals in your mouth. Did you do that? And Moshe looks at the boy and he says, "This is crazy. You remember? You know that? I totally forgot about it. Yes, of course it happened." Judaism is alive today, and it is vibrant, because we, the Jewish people, have never stopped learning about God, about His Torah, and about Judaism. It is this idea that we see in this week's portion. In this week's portion, we read about Aharon, the brother of Moses, who was the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. And he was obligated every single day to light the menorah, the candelabra. And the Torah tells us that Aaron did as he was instructed, which seems a rather unusual and definitely unnecessary statement to be made. Why would I think that Aaron would not follow the instructions? Do we need to be told that he was a good boy? However, the Torah is telling us that when Aaron lit the menorah for the first time, it was with the same enthusiasm and excitement that he lit it 40 years later. And the reason why he was able to do so was because he never stopped learning about God. He never stopped challenging himself to dig deep into the mystery of the Torah. And the more he learned and the more he studied, the more he came to appreciate, to love God and to love his Torah. This may seem strange coming from an Orthodox rabbi, but I often tell people, I don't want you to become observant. I want you to become knowledgeable. I want you to realize that God is not the one who will be buying you your new house or the new convertible. But when we study God's wisdom, when we study God's Torah, then observance will be the natural progression. And if we study and if we learn, then without a doubt, we will fulfill his mitzvot and his commandments with the same enthusiasm and the same joy that Aaron, the high priest, did so many years ago. Thank you.